That's dropping Friday, and I'm excited because that was a throwaway. Let me do something on that ending, bro. I ain't gonna lie. He did, but that's the way he wanted it to be like that. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? It's his stuff. But I wanted to do like some interlude type. Like I wanted the same length of the outro, but I was like, I could do like some interlude type stuff. Well, I had, cause I love that outro, bro. That just the beat switch and everything. I love that. But yeah, so how that came about? First off, Torey, my dog, and my brother. Um, we was already talking about. So I got a song that he wanted to hop on. I had two he wanted to hop on. The first one was Lieutenant 19, which I ended up dropping. Uh, he originally had said something about, him and Chris hopping on it. Maybe that'll happen. But either way, glory to God. But that was before I dropped it. I ended up dropping it, and he really he wanted what was best for me. He wanted to try to hop on, give it some love. He wanted to. He's kind of told me things that he's learned over the years and going about things and things like that. And a lot of it I listen to. Most of it I listen to. Now I'm at a place now where I really just don't care of like you know choices that I necessarily make that might not be the best or whatever the case is. I'm just following God at this point, especially now. Like I feel like things that I've tried to do that people have told me, whether it's good, like, and it's not whether it's good or bad advice, but whatever advice they told me, whether it's Tory, whether it's other artist friends that I know, whether it's YouTube people that like say what to do on YouTube or whatever like that, it just don't work for me. But every time I just not try to do something and I just like I either just leave it alone or I just start focusing on God, the door is open. My song ended up on the radio and still is on the radio. Somebody just hit me up now, so it's been on the radio for a couple months or whatever. Um, Luke 10:19, that happened with me focusing on God. Me being on Tory Joint, like happened with me focusing on God, like uh, all of that. So I just been focusing on God, man. Like, and I'm more locked in now than I was. So yeah. What was I about to say? The second joint that he want to hop on, he's saying he'd like to have that on his deluxe. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? That one is hard. That one, y'all actually get to hear me because nobody knows me. Nobody knows who I am. And that's cool. But um, Stop It came about because obviously we had a couple songs that we wanted to do together already that was more of mine. And one that's going to be on his deluxe, he's been wanting it this whole time. So I've been keeping it on the tuck. I haven't released it because, I'm letting him figure out and make up his mind if he wanted on it or not. Otherwise, I would have dropped it probably December or this month, January. But we'll see what comes about with that. And if he ends up going another direction, then I'm dropping that John immediately, probably. And trying to see what else. So we already had those, or we already had that at least. And he was already working on his album. He was in album mode, and I was there for a lot of it, trying to help. You know what I'm saying, with like the direction ultimately just being what I could be. And that's a thing I feel like people should do more often. Like some artists, you could meet up with friends or meet up with artists that you're cool with, and y'all talking, and you like, hey, I did this song or whatever, and then you play this song, or you meet up with somebody like, hey, can I play some songs for you? And that's cool and all that, you let them do that, but then you become like, oh, let me play these for you, let me play these for you, and it's like, I don't really know how to word what I'm really trying to say. But basically, what I'm really trying to say is like some people make it about them, and me being around Torey during album mode, I realized, whatever I got going on, it's not about me. How can I serve? You know what I'm saying? How can I help him and what he got going on? So ultimately, that's what got me on this. I've heard a couple songs that was gonna be on there. We tried a couple and me on there. Um, it sent me stop it, and my verse, I wasn't even too thrilled with it myself, and uh, it wasn't nothing that really stood out. So then I just kind of was like, I really didn't want to take away from, you know, anything he had going on because the song is gonna be on his deluxe. Matter of fact, he originally wanted it on the album, and I just felt like I'm like I don't. I feel like it might distract from the album. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? How he explained his vision, what the uh, come and see, which it wasn't come and see at first. It was what was it at first? Um, I can't remember. It was something. It was still about C or whatever, but um, it was just a slight change. But anyway, um, with it being what it is now and the direction and everything, I was like, you know, you got done telling me and explaining to me everything that you wanted to do. I just don't feel like, I prayed about it, and I'm like, I don't want to take away from what God trying to do. I feel like I would be a distraction. I feel like I would be like, the subject matter it matches, but sonically, I feel like it just don't match with everything else. And I had to put aside what I ultimately wanted. I knew that, you know, his audience would hear my voice for the first time. The Christian rap world would hear my voice for the first time. Even with Luke 10:19, when he's saying he wanted to, him and Hovey be on there, and I would just be the hook. And I'm like, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. But you know, um, I just was going off God timing. So I let that go and just focused on what God was saying. But we go back to stop it. The verse didn't necessarily work out. I'm sitting there just helping him or just, what I'm saying, hearing his ideas, hearing his raps, hearing it, like just being there for him. He was like, hey man, try this. Like he said, that was his hook. He was saying stop it, stop it, stop it. He was like, I just want to hear you say it. And I just did it. And again, this is what I tell you when I say, like, when I stop and just focus on God, like I wasn't trying to do nothing crazy. I was already focused on God in my own life, and just happened to be there trying to serve somebody in there. You know what I'm saying? Because Torey procrastinates sometimes or whatever. So like just trying to help and really help him push this and get this out. Stop. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Let's. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I'm dedicated to be there for you and your vision that God has given you. And me just being there, he just said, "Say stop it." And when he played it, it's why God's so funny because when he played it back, he was like, "Bro, this hard," and I was like, "Is this dude like playing with me? Like it's hard. Like all I'm saying is stop it. Like you know what I'm saying? I was bored. I almost was offended because I was like, bro, this dude like just saying this because I'm like, these your words, this your hook. Like you just said stop it. Like what is the difference between me and you? And yeah, I just feel like God was just blessing me, and I say God is funny because everybody always say something about my voice. or when I growl or just whatever the stuff that I do, the uns and just say my voice is this and my sound is this and all of that. Everybody says that, but like I remember when my voice was pretty much the same and the subject matter was different, or I wasn't surrendered with God. So like it's just funny because I feel like God didn't like zap people's ears or something. Because everybody be like, "Oh, you so tough, you so hard," woo, woo. And I'm like, same dude I always been when I was playing around. Like just God literally just made it happen. When I focus on Him, you know what I'm saying. So take that, you know what I'm saying, as a reminder or as a uh, inspiration, especially if you're a Christian artist. Especially, just focus on God, bro. Just focus on God, and you know what I'm saying. That's the best I can say is just focus on God. What does He want you to do? Um, Talk to Him. Be honest with Him. I don't care if you yell at Him, cry at Him, cuss at Him. He bigger than all of that. But just be real where you at, and focus on Him. And obviously, at some point, you probably get to your senses and be like, "Dang, I was out of pocket. I was out of line." But thank you for being God. All of those things, and move on, bro. Everything else would solve itself because God will make it happen, bro. If it's in you, it's because God put it in you. If you got this true desire, this undeniable desire for music, if you got this undeniable desire for culinary arts, I don't know why that popped up in my head, but God just threw that in there. So maybe somebody want to do that. Whatever it is, though, literally just focus on God. Like he put that in you for a reason, so it's gonna happen regardless. But it's gonna happen on His timing in the way that He says, and you will never know the timing. You'll never know the way that He says or the way He intends and all of those things if you don't focus on Him. He will order your steps. He will line it up. He will make it happen. It might even be something when you stop focusing on that and forget or get more happy with focusing on Him, and then boom, it just happened out of nowhere. I got on the radio because of being at Torey's album listening party. I'm at Torey's album listening party because I'm on the album. I'm on the album because I was focusing on God and serving Him. Um, but let's put it like this: I'm on the album because I was at Torey's crib, where the studio was. Where the studio was in Torey's crib because I was at Kimani's crib, which is both our friends, Kimani Jones. Shout out to him. I was at Kimani's crib because um, I was playing music, and Torey heard that music and was like, "Dang, this hard." Ooh, ooh. Even though I was cool with both of them before, but I went on my hiatus. So in my hiatus, they was doing their thing and steady going up and stuff like that, and I was just on my way to whatever. And I end up in Kamani crib because another friend of ours, Tay Collier, yeah, um, he invited me to their church because I was looking for a new church because my church is more older people. My church that I came from is like a lot more older people, and I wanted something younger, something like relate to, and then something somewhere me and my girlfriend could grow together. And she lived across the bridge, across the water in Illinois. I live in Missouri, so we was trying to like find somewhere halfway too. I ain't want her to go all the way on my side. I ain't want to go all the way on her side, but we could at least find something halfway or something, on my side that's not too far. We found somewhere halfway in East St. Louis. So, um, all of that to say, all of those moments, all of the pivotal moments that happened, man, I was focusing on God. I got invited to perform with this event or at this event with these people that even do weddings and stuff like that. So that's a blessing that, you know, they might help me with marrying my girl and stuff like that, or making it easier, making it more affordable, and all of these things. And that came from them hearing me on the radio. So like, it's really just a blessing that keeps on blessing. And this song dropping Friday that I ain't even really announcing for real. I might do a video or something like that about it tomorrow or whatever. But we'll see what happens with that. Luke 10 was something that just dropped. It dropped in August. It's January. Like, and that's how I felt led. I ain't had nobody to do the cover art, so I took a picture with Luke 10 under my shoe, Luke 10:19 under my shoe. And everybody liked it. That's literally just how I felt with God. God put that in me. So I know I'm kind of rambling, but I'm really just trying to. It's somebody who was in my shoes who felt like giving up. I felt like giving up, bro. I did give up. The other video before this, I told y'all briefly my story when I got saved, baptized, and immediately went into the world. Came back trying to be, trying to do better, trying to be more intentional. Went back into the world. So that was 2008. Got saved. I was 12 years old. That summer, went into 8th grade. That was gone. 2014, 18, freshman year of college. Came back from winter break. Maybe 2 weeks later, that was gone. Um, 2016, I was 20. I was around Gully, and that's when I actually started paying attention to Christian rap for real and stuff like that. 2016 was when I first met Torey. We was working at the same job. Funny thing is, I worked with his wife 2 years prior, 2014, because we both worked at the Arch. So, I got to really know them before that really even became a thing. That was cool. When I found out they was together, I was like, dang, I worked with both of y'all. But um, 2016, that's when I was really finding out about stuff. Went back to what I did. 2017, got serious. And then that was up until 2020, 2019. I mean, 2020, 2021. So then I went on my 3 year hiatus where I was gone. I was gone. That last one was a doozy. I ain't gonna lie. I went through a lot. That last one, I just couldn't do it no more, bro. I gave up for real. Like, that's when I gave up. I was gone. But God, man, it's a scripture that I think it's in first. It's either First Timothy or Second Timothy. Is escaping me right now, but basically talking about how uh, God is faithful to Himself, man, and you know, even when we deny Or if you deny him, he'll deny you. But that's not really talking about salvation. That's more talking about, um, you know, responsibility or whatever. But later on, after that, it talks about, he's faithful to himself. He's faithful to us because he's faithful to himself, him being on the inside of us. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But my point is, I was marked by him. And no matter how far I got, who can separate you from the love of Jesus? What can separate you from the love of Jesus? Not death, not life, not all of these things. So I just want to encourage y'all, man. That's definitely not an excuse to sin. We know that from Romans 6, but um, it's definitely of consolation in the midst of sin. And you could try them all you want. Try them. Try them. Go out and sin all you want. Sin your heart out. If you say, go sin your heart out. Go ahead and try him. If you really want to try him and you really want to tempt him and you really want to see, will he stay faithful? He will, but you're going to find yourself in a whole bunch of trouble, a whole bunch of mess that you really didn't have to be in. And you're going to go through some discipline and might even go through a little punishment. But, we know, I can't remember where this is, but it's scripture too where, he disciplines the ones he loves. He chastens the ones he loves. So you gonna feel it. And he gonna be right there to love you still. So gonna whoop you, whoop you, whoop you. If that's what it take. He ain't gonna go straight to that, but if that's what it take, and be right there to kiss your boo boo, I still love you. So, you know, I encourage you not to do that. I encourage you not to do what I did because I paid for it. In the hospital with a heart attack, almost lost my life. And doctors and the nurses was like, and I remember when I was driving just different places trying to get this resolved. Cause I'm like, what's going on? And when I was finally in the urgent care and they couldn't find nothing wrong, and they was like, well, we could call the ambulance since you complaining. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna just drive. And it was like, if you really feel how you feeling, we don't recommend you to drive. And I just remember, I just was like, give me a second. And I was just praying to God in my head. And I was like, can I make it, Lord? I still remember that to this day. I was just like, can I make it, Lord? Because I knew where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Mobab Hospital and or Missouri Baptist Hospital, and that was gonna be a drive. So I'm like, I had already been driving. I drove to Walgreens to get some aspirin, drove to the urgent care, been in there trying to tell them what's going on and they ain't listening, taking the test that they taking and being rude to me and mean to me and saying ain't nothing wrong with me. So all this time wasting mid heart attack. And I'm just like, Lord, can I make it? And he said, no, you're going to need to call that ambulance. And I really didn't want to because I knew that bill. I knew that bill. And when I got there, that's a whole nother story. But long story short, the doctors and the nurses was like, if you would have waited any longer. So that was a blessing because I literally was like, Lord, can I make it? And he literally was like, take the ambulance, Ezra. And that saved my life. That same weekend, that was a Sunday, March 17th, 2024. That same weekend, the Friday, at that point, I had started going to the hookah bar like every Friday for like a month or 2 months. Smoking hookah just on Friday nights with some hookah friends. I only know them from there, but we always hang out every Friday night. And God told me no. And I was like, this sometimes he'd tell me no, and especially at that time, like not no more, but I'll be like, I'll do it. I'll do it anyway, or be in the midst of going through with it. And if he leave it alone, then I'm like, okay, he said no, but like, you know, whatever, he letting me do it. But if he keep being adamant about it, I'm like, oh, it's probably it'll behoove me to obey. Like he allowed me to disobey at times and give me enough rope to hang myself, but he was there to still cut me loose. My point is, in that moment, I remember I was in the bathroom. I think I was washing my face or something. I don't know. I touched my face or something. I remember I heard no. And I just remember I looked up in the mirror. I heard no, do not go. And I just remember I said, okay, okay, I won't go. And very rarely do God really put his foot down in those regards, and they always have been life saving. Like the last real time when God was like, no, and I could like hear it like in me in a way where he like no, like you know what I'm saying, like I'm pleading that you do not even I'm pleading, like it ain't even pleading no more, it's on some like no, like that's how I feel on the inside, like just something that just stop you in your track or in your tracks. The last time I really had that, because that's what that was, I was probably like 19, I was 18 or 19 at my mama crib during break. It was either winter break or spring break, and I was back in town from college for break, and she was like, "You can't be out at this time and that time," and I'm like, "You crazy?" Like I'm doing this in college, like I'm living on my own in college, like nah. And she steady, we kind of arguing about it, and I'm like, "All right, whatever." And like she like that's what I said, no, blah 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 blah. And she go to sleep. I'm like, she don't even know. I'm just finna leave anyway. Like, just go to sleep. Like, I don't care what you talking about. And God was like, no, no. I'm like, and I just remember I put my hand on the key. It was in the door. I put my hand on the key, and because in that house we just kept the key in there for whatever reason. I don't even know why. And no, don't go. And I was pissed. Cause I'm like, bro, and I listened to God, but I said, all right, but I was pissed. And then someone told me look out the window. I looked out the window, where I would have been. Big shootout happened. Ain't nobody get hit. Ain't no car get hit. Ain't nothing. I knew in that moment I was watching my death. I was watching my death. No, nobody got hit. A shootout where they had to drop on them, like they didn't even know. Nobody got hit. No car got hit. No nothing. This dude, you mean to tell me this dude missed everything? I would have got hit. I would have got hit. So, um, heed God's voice, man. Because sometimes I'm telling you, you'll find yourself in a whole heap of trouble from one of the slightest disobediences, and you'll find yourself in a whole unmeasurable amount of blessings from the slightest obedience, man. It could be something as simple as don't eat the rest of the cereal in this box, and something keep telling me not to, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it anyway. Next thing you know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm in the hospital for something. Like, you just never know. I mean, it could be a chain of reaction to things. I'm hurting today, so then I don't go out. Or I'm hurting tomorrow because my chest hurt from eating late at night. Now my chest hurt. I don't want to go out. So then I was supposed to go meet a friend, and we was about to go. We could have went somewhere else, or somebody would have noticed us because I'm playing a song for him, and somebody just happened to be passing by, and they're like, "Hey, I got a friend who's an A&R," and then all of that, I could have just missed out on a whole lot of blessings because of one slight disobedience. It don't even have to be something where, you know what I'm saying, you go into some discipline or you go into some bad stuff that you didn't have to do. You could just be literally missing out on your blessing. Um, so just obey God's voice. Um, I've been really rambling. I had dropped this and didn't tell nobody. This must still got 143 views.
You say you want someone who will always fight for you. This the moment that I want to. It's the moment that I realize how much I really want you. It's the moment that I tell you there ain't nothing that I won't do for you. Yeah. But I won't put you over God. That's something that I can.
I ain't about to do all of that right now. I'm actually about to close this and go to sleep. Cause what time is it? It's 3:43. I'm gonna go to sleep. It's the moment that I want to. Dang, another 40-minute video. All right, for sure.